Uh-oh, we going. It's your boy Red Dawg _ENT. And we back. So I got a request yesterday for how good was Tom Brady actually. Shouts out to the Gridiron for the content. Let's get it.
The problem with Tom Brady being so great is that sometimes people don't realize how great he actually was.
Yeah, well, not in that play, obviously.
It's commonly accepted he's the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone accepts his NFL dominance during his 23-year career, huge accomplishments get glossed over. You don't even know about some of his most insane feats.
Okay.
Brady is the single greatest football player ever.
Okay, and what do y'all think? You agree with that? I mean, I personally think just the way he was able. I mean, I've never seen nobody leave a team, go to another team, and in the first year, not only did they go to the Super Bowl, they win it. Like, that's insane.
And no one will ever surpass him. And for anyone with an argument against that, you'll see why you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the argument against it is invalid because Patrick Mahomes had the chance to do it. He had the chance to do it. Yeah, you could say he was down offensive lineman, blah, 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 all these things. He had two chances actually to do it. So you just can't. That argument is just as invalid. There was a blowout win in the Super Bowl, and then an AFC Championship game, he went down the field in OT and won the game. Now, if Patrick Mahomes had won any of those two games in the playoffs when it meant the most, then we can start having that argument about him coming up now. But he lost. He lost both games, and when the stakes were at the highest, and there was one that wasn't even particularly close, obviously.
Tom Brady was born on August 3rd, 1977 in San Mateo, California, about 20 miles from San Francisco. Naturally, he grew up a 49ers fan.
49ers, of course.
A huge Joe Montana fan, idolizing him. Brady attended Niners games at Candlestick Park and was
Why was he so mad? What was wrong with his face?
The 1981 NFC Championship game where Montana threw the catch to Dwight Clark. One of the most famous moments in the NFL's rich history. Though Brady was only 4 at the time, perhaps that moment cemented itself in his mind forever, and maybe even subconsciously inspired him to have similar plays in his career. Brady was the fourth child to his parents and an only son.
So let's look at the family here. Man, what in the world? Yo, even the mom looks like Brady. Like everybody in this family looks like Tom Brady. Like they all Brady with a wig on, a little bit taller, Brady short, Brady with the wig on, with a little bit wider lips. The dad is obviously Brady, and the mom even looks like Tom Brady. What in the world? That's spooky, bro. What the hell? I can understand the dad, but why the mom look like Brady too? God,
as part of his childhood.
That's interesting.
He played football, baseball, and basketball at Junipero Serra High School. As a freshman, he made the Padres JV football team, but he was only the backup. He was not good enough to start for a team that was 0-8 and hadn't scored a touchdown all year. That's enough to make a kid think that football wasn't for him.
Yeah.
But the starter did get injured, and Brady stepped in. Sound familiar? He played well. It appeared Brady's talent was as a baseball player. A left-handed batting catcher, Brady garnered interest from MLB scouts. He was actually drafted by the Montreal Expos in the 1995 MLB draft.
Wait, in the 1995? Why he looks so old? No way, that's not true. Is that true? He got drafted in that. Well, why does he look older than when he was at the damn draft for the NFL? And like, what year was that? 99? That's weird.
A left-handed batting catcher, Brady garnered interest from MLB scouts. He was actually drafted by the Montreal Expos in the.
I mean, is it just me, or does bro he looks older than he looked in the NFL draft when he was.
Even that's enough to make it think that football wasn't for him. Maybe baseball was. However, when Brady found out there was interest in him playing football for the Michigan Wolverines.
See, that's what I'm saying. He went to college, he looked younger.
He chose that path instead.
Whatever.
An interesting part of Brady's college academic career. He did a summer internship at Merrill Lynch.
Merrill Lynch, okay.
He learned lessons there that would stick with him throughout his life. But Brady's college football career didn't start off with such excitement. he was a redshirt freshman in the 1995 season. Brady then served as the backup in the 96 and 97 seasons, in the shadow of Brian Griese.
Bro looks like he's 35, got 4 kids and a wife, and smokes every day. Let's go.
Who led the 97 Wolverines to an undefeated season. Finally, Brady earned the right to start and did so for the entirety of the 1998 and 1999 seasons. But for the first 7 games of the 99 season, Brady had to split his starting role with Drew Henson, playing the first quarter, Henson playing the second, and then the coach deciding who played the second half. Despite the uncertainty, Brady had big moments. Against Penn State, he led his team to a fourth quarter comeback, winning 31-27. In the last regular season game, tied with Ohio State 17-17 with 5 minutes left, Brady led the Wolverines to the game-winning score. He also led Michigan to an overtime win in the Orange Bowl against Alabama, throwing for 369 yards and 4 touchdowns. Even with all that success, when Brady entered the 2000 NFL Draft, he slipped all the way to the 199th pick.
As a final pick, right?
On him multiple times until the New England Patriots chose him as a backup quarterback.
Oh, man.
Brady's first year in the NFL was in 2000. He sat behind Drew Bledsoe and John Freese and Michael Bishop. That's right. Brady was fourth
the fourth-string quarterback,
He only had 3 pass attempts, 1 completion, and 6 yards. The Pats were 5-11. Once again, he was not good enough to start on a bad team. One of Brady's best qualities is his mental toughness. There are big games throughout his career, big moments. But just think how strong-minded you have to be to endure all these setbacks. At this stage of Brady's career, no one expected anything from him.
Seriously though, like an ordinary person, I feel like an ordinary man, a weaker person would have been like, you know what, bruh? I had some success with MLB. I'm gonna go do that. You know what I'm saying? They chose me 199. I'm the 4th string. I just feel like a lot of people would just have given up. At that point, they would have been like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Like, this probably isn't for me. Let me go do something else where I can start and where I can, make an impact right away. You know what I mean? But Tom Brady is that kind of guy. And that's why, taking a segue here to another thing, a lot of people at the beginning of the season, when Tom Brady started the broadcast stuff, everybody was dogging on him. Oh, he sucks. And oh, this, that. And I was like, I was listening to him on the first game and I'm like, I hear potential though. I hear potential in him. He just needs to relax. He needs to get better. And he needs to just show his personality more, because we got to see his personality when he joined the Bucs. We didn't see very much. I thought he was always a stiff ass when he was at the Patriots. But that's just how the Patriots kind of made their people kind of just they were quiet. They didn't talk to the media, blah blah blah. Stuff like that. But when you got to the Bucs, you got to see, hey, this dude is actually a pretty cool guy. He's got a lot of jokes, and we got to see that side of him. So I'm like, I want to see that side come out in his broadcasting, because he's a funny ass dude and he's very sarcastic. Like I said, I saw the potential. He just needs to hone his skills, and it's gonna take time. Like all the people that were saying that, I'm like, why don't y'all go out there and go do that? You know what I'm saying? This isn't easy. Of course he's gonna be a little bad at first. I mean, everybody's gonna be a little bad at first, unless you're just an automatic natural, which is like 1 in a billion people. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna get it. He's gonna be great. But like I said, mental toughness is huge. You have to have it to do things in this world.
He was simply a backup. But in the 2001 season, he got his chance. Drew Bledsoe went down with an injury, and Brady made the most of his chance. Tom Brady's 14 starts that year. The Patriots were 11-3.
Yeah, they were a force.
11-5 overall and winning the AFC East. He threw 18 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. It was rocky at times, but the Patriots were in the playoffs.
But he's learning. He was learning.
An unbelievable run led by the 199th pick in the draft. The Patriots made it to the Super Bowl and faced the St. Louis Rams, who they beat 20-17.
Yeah.
It was a fairy tale story for Brady. That could have been his old.
And that was that big-time, all-time offense that the Rams had. They had like that scoring. They were like a scoring machine that year. I forgot the phrase they called it. I forgot. But the phrase they had for it was a top scoring offense. They could score everywhere and anywhere. So to hold them to 17 points was huge for the Patriots.
Super Bowl win. His career could have continued on modestly, and he would have still forever been remembered in New England and all around the NFL. But Brady's mental toughness wouldn't allow him to settle. The very next year, Brady led his team to another winning record, 9-7, second in the AFC East, and his 28 passing touchdowns led the league. However, the Patriots missed the playoffs. No worries, adversity is just an opportunity for mental toughness to shine. The 2003 Patriots went 14-2 and won the division once more. They made it back to the Super Bowl and beat the Panthers 32-29.
Yeah, another close game.
2004 was the deja vu year. They won the division again, went 14-2 again, back to the Super Bowl and won it again. Teams rarely repeat at Super Bowl champs.
Yes.
Brady's 03 and 04 Pats were the last to do it. Brady.
So obviously this is a little old. We know the Chiefs just did that for the 2022-2023 NFL seasons. We're in the 2024 season now. We'll see what happens.
He was now one of only 5 quarterbacks to win 3 or more Super Bowls, including his idol Joe Montana with 4. So would Brady dial it back? Take the huge paydays that he deserved? No. While Brady was still compensated heavily, he took pay cuts so that the team could do more with better players.
I agree about that part, yes, but there's a missing thing that people forget. They forget about when they talk about that. Yes, he took pay cuts, but you have to remember his wife was much richer than him, Gisele Bündchen. And, obviously that allowed to, I really do feel like if he was a single man, not a single man, but you know what I mean? Like if he was married to somebody who wasn't on that level, or if he was a single man, that he wouldn't have taken those pay cuts. And if he would have, it definitely wouldn't have been significant. They would have been very small.
His competitive drive was a key factor in the Patriots' success over the next decade and a half. Brady led the Patriots to 17 division titles, 13 AFC championship games.
That's crazy.
9 Super Bowl appearances.
Woo!
And 6 Super Bowl wins.
It's
Perhaps
insane.
None more iconic than the greatest comeback of all time. Super Bowl 51 against the Atlanta Falcons, down 28-3 midway through the third quarter. Brady and the Pats somehow managed to come back, send it to overtime, and win it 34-28.
Crazy.
On the way to creating history, he went back to a childhood memory and channeled his inner Joe Montana, when he threw a pass to Julian Edelman for a highlight reel catch. It may not be known across the NFL as the catch, but in New England, it's known as that catch. In beating the Falcons, Brady snagged his 5th Super Bowl win, surpassing.
Because I believe that catch was wasn't that like on a 3rd down or something, like a 4th down or something? I don't remember, but it was on a key down where if the Falcons had somehow stopped them, they probably win that game. So that was huge.
Brady snagged his 5th Super Bowl win, surpassing his idol Joe Montana and every other quarterback, now becoming the quarterback with the most Super Bowl wins ever.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost at this point, he had more Super Bowl wins than a lot of franchises.
But he was still tied with defensive end Charles Haley for most Super Bowl wins by any player, though that only lasted a couple more years.
Yep.
Brady won his 6th Super Bowl against the Rams and made more history. By the time Brady's career in New England...
And that was like the worst Super Bowl ever. I mean, you want to talk about a defensive showdown. If you like defense, I guess that's a good Super Bowl.
Came to an end.
I like a good balance.
On a franchise like no one else ever did before.
Facts.
On March 20th, 2020, Brady joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a new team after 2 decades.
Yeah.
It proved to be an immense challenge for Brady. The year was rocky for the Bucs.
Oh yeah, it was rocky.
To get into the playoffs
11-5,
as the 5 seed. Even with that low seed, they beat Washington. They beat Drew Brees and the Saints, and they beat Aaron Rodgers.
No. Me as a Packers fan, I still have nightmares about this damn game. And Aaron Rodgers was having an MVP season, one of the best seasons ever. We were a top scoring offense. I still can't get over that. But anyways,
as the 5 seed. Even with that low seed, they beat Washington. They beat Drew Brees and the Saints, and they beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, all on the road. Then they faced off against the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs and beat the brakes off of them 31-9.
Beat the brakes off them.
Brady had won it all in his first year with a new team and
That's
secured
insane.
Super Bowl number 7. An untouchable achievement.
Yeah, untouchable.
There are so many ways to put Brady's greatness into perspective. It's like looking at a
Pretty
work
wild,
of art
man.
through 100 different windows. But there are some good ways to look at it. In 2007, Brady was the first quarterback to ever throw for 50 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah.
He did so while only throwing 8 interceptions. The only other 2 quarterbacks to hit or clear 50 touchdowns in a season are Patrick Mahomes and Peyton Manning. But both did so while throwing double-digit interceptions. His career regular season passing touchdowns, 649, is the most ever.
And a big part of that was Moss. Like nobody will ever deny that. Moss was a huge part of that passing attack that year. Moss, I mean, he would just toss it up to him. Moss is down there somewhere. Just throw it up to him, and he'll make the. I mean, that guy with contested catches is insane.
3 other quarterbacks have surpassed 500. No one else has passed 600. His career regular season passing yardage, 89,214 yards, is the most ever. The next closest is about 9,000 yards behind him. His 89,214 yards is difficult to picture. Try thinking of it as 50.68 miles, or enough distance to reach the peak of Mount Everest 9 times. But perhaps the best way to see just how good Tom Brady actually was is this. Here are 6 career stat lines. The first is Hall of Famer John Elway. The second is Tom Brady in his 30s.
Oh my goodness.
The third is Hall of Famer Steve Young. The fourth
Tom Brady
is Tom Brady in his 40s. The fifth is Hall of Famer
Tom Brady in his 20s.
The sixth is Tom Brady in his 20s.
Wow.
Think about that.
That's
the man
insane.
hasn't just had a Hall of Fame career, he's had 3 of
them. 3
3
Hall of Fame careers, yes.
Brady has a career that can stand alone as a Hall of Fame career if it consisted solely of games he played aged 40 and over.
Damn.
All other players are on the decline at 40. Brady was rising to new heights. That is why no one will ever touch Tom Brady.
Never.
It isn't good enough to be great. You have to be great 3 times in one life.
Yes. And another thing, he was very durable. I know obviously he didn't run a lot, so he didn't take a whole lot of hits, but he was very durable. I mean, how many seasons did he miss to injury? What, 3?
And
I mean, all that time? I actually don't even think it was that. I think he only missed maybe 2, and then that one, it was like half a season. So, I don't know.
You could talk.
Wasn't often.